Here we are again for another fantastic episode of The High Road. We hope for the next 30 minutes we can cure the chaos in your life. I'm Drake Travis, and here beside me is my lovely wife, Serena. Honey, who do we have for a guest today?
Drake, our guest is really making a difference with kids, and it's quite inspiring to see what he's doing besides being an actor and musician. Anthony Preston is here to tell us all about his passions and what you can do to help his organization elevate.
Oh, wait till you hear my cut the nonsense. I'm taking on Washington once again, and I hope it inspires all of you to go out there and make some changes in the leadership that is taking us in the wrong direction nationally. Who do you have for Global Connection?
We're languages.
Yeah, okay. Languages?
That's right. We are talking some serious English.
Muy bien. How about we start the show with a little laughter as I take you all on the lighter side. The Democrat Party has bid farewell to an old friend. Here's the obituary. Today, we mourn the passing of a beloved old friend, Common Sense, who has been with us for many years. Not sure how old he was, since the birth records were lost long ago in bureaucratic red tape. He is remembered as having cultivated life lessons like why the early bird gets the worm, life isn't always fair, and maybe it was my fault. His health deteriorated rapidly with regulations like only Black Lives Matter. Partial birth abortion is not murder, and a 6-year-old boy is charged with sexual harassment for kissing a classmate. Common Sense lost the will to live as churches became businesses. You couldn't defend yourself in your own home from a burglar, and the burglar could sue you for assault, and criminals received better treatment than victims. What finally killed Common Sense was when a woman spilled a beverage in her lap and was promptly awarded $2.7 million in a settlement. She failed to realize that steaming coffee was hot. Not many attended the funeral of Common Sense because so few liberals even realized he was gone. Oh, here's a great one. A married couple in their 60s are celebrating their 40th anniversary in romantic Florence, Italy. Suddenly, a tiny fairy appears on their table. And she said, "For being an exemplary, long-loving married couple, I grant you each a wish." The wife answered, "Oh, I want to travel around the world with my darling husband." The fairy, poof, waved her wand, 2 tickets for a 9-month round-the-world cruise. The husband thought for a moment, "Well, this is all very romantic, but an opportunity like this will never come again. I'm sorry, love. My wish is to have a wife 30 years younger than me." The wife and the fairy were very dismayed, but a wish is a wish. The fairy waved her wand, poof. The man was 95 years old. Let's go meet our guest. Today's guest is a daytime television star, and he's in 5 movies. But he uses his talents of acting, singing, and songwriting for a greater cause. He started Elevate, a non-religious nonprofit whose mission is to execute an educational, inspirational, and entertaining program for the purpose of helping teens avoid risky behaviors and achieve their dreams. It is an honor to have Anthony Preston here with us today.
It's an honor to be here. Damn, did you see that?
Sparkles. That never worked before.
Did that
Anthony, hey, wow. Hey, tell us, so you've been an actor since...
15 years.
15 years.
Yes, sir.
So the bug bit you. Tell me when you thought, I've got to act.
I believe the apex of my career was I was a tree in a nativity scene for a Christmas play. No.
You're scaring me.
Well, I was a kid, and I was watching an episode of Speed Racer with some friends, and the cable cut out, and everybody was freaking out wondering how the show ended. So my dad had a motorcycle. I put the helmet on and came back into the living room, and I just pantomimed the whole thing. And I've spent the majority of my career trying to top that performance. You know, everything has sort of fallen just below that, but that's kind of when the bug kind of bit me. And then in college, and I'm from the Midwest. I mean, closest thing I got to a beach was a volleyball court. So I came to California and I thought, when I came for college, I said, how can I spend as much time by the water as possible? And I realized there was this, if I signed up for the school play, I could miss so many hours of class. And I was just trying to do the math to figure out if I do this and get this many humanity credits, I can actually skip this much school. And I actually got cast in it, got my first agent out of it, and ended up working in New York after only being in California for about 6 months. It was really strange.
You did enough calculating to probably get a degree if you'd
I know, you should have honorary credits for that, right?
Did you skip your homework?
Well, you know.
I'm hearing a heart for youth here, young people.
Yeah.
You must have a heart for them. And what is it about these millennials today that makes your heart go, I got to help? There must be some pain involved here that triggered you.
There is, and I'm amazed at a couple of things, one of which is the amount of self-worth that is derived from social media. I look at that and I think about the amount of time that's spent doing that for something that is completely, it's illusionary, it's not real. And yet so much of our millennial culture identifies their self-worth, their future worth, and their self-esteem from what is posted, liked, and not liked. And they look at the things that their friends are doing, their communities doing, and they literally are impacted by, why I want to do that. How come I'm not doing that? I wish I was doing that. I guess that means that I'm this thing because I am or am not doing those activities. Wow. The second thing is, and really the genesis of why I decided personally to become an advocate for things like youth outreach, was Tyler Clementi. He was the Rutgers University student who committed suicide. And the reason he did was because someone videotaped him doing something, decided to post it up online. He was so mortified by that he decided to take his own life. And I was like, how is it?
Goodness gracious.
How could somebody, what is the power of a medium like film that causes a person to feel like their life has been so immortalized or epitomized by this one thing that they have to now remove themselves from the earth? I thought, what if we took that same medium and we actually use that for good? And I thought,
to inspire.
To inspire, educate, and entertain
Wow.
is essentially what we decided to do.
Explain Elevate and what was the fire behind getting that going?
Well, 8 by nature is we know 7 is the number, biblically speaking, is the number of completion. 8 was always in the Bible the number of new beginnings. And it's amazing to me at how many people I had met under the age of 18 that pretty much had decided for one reason or another, their potential, their dreams and aspirations were pretty much nil because of one decision they had made by the time they were 18 years old. And so I said, well, then the first thing we need to do, I've seen too many programs like what we're trying to accomplish that essentially they're a list of do nots. If you do not do the following, you will be successful. And I thought, I don't understand how we're supposed to garner success from something that's literally a list of limitations. I think if we shift focus onto potential, onto self-worth, onto value, onto second chances, number 8, you know, that energy, that adolescent energy, it's only misguided when they're doing foolish things, but it's the same energy that got us to the moon as a nation that we won the space race with, right?
Yeah.
It's just not channeled right. But if you can take a person out of a bad relationship, off social media, and out of doing things like, you know, recreational drugs, you can take that same energy and funnel that into creativity, and those kids are amazed at what they can accomplish.
Yeah, and let them know, hey, you failed, but let's start again. So, hey, we'll have more with Anthony after this quick break. Stay tuned for a Cut the Nonsense segment about an organization that is doing the exact opposite of what Anthony Preston is doing with Elevate. We'll be right back. It is encouraging to see people like Anthony Preston running Elevate, an organization that positively helps young people. There's another organization that harms young people and all of us. Their most disabled victims are black families who are living in communities funded by them, the U.S. government. Yes, their actions harm the black community. The government brainwashes these families to not save money, to not work, and to not marry. You don't want your baby? They'll abort it for you. Which, by the way, Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was among the most racist women to ever live. She says, the birth of a colored child, even to parents who can give it adequate support, is pathetic in view of the treatment likely to be accorded it at the hands of a white community. And the denial of choice in propagation to this unfortunate class is nothing less than barbarous. The Democrats hired Sanger to talk this way. The Democrats are irresponsible hucksters to tell this community that it's the Republicans who want to keep the black man down. Look at history. Republican founder Abraham Lincoln ended slavery. In fact, the Republican Party was founded primarily to oppose slavery, and they eventually abolished it. The Democrat Party fought them and tried to maintain and expand slavery and lynching through their KKK. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery with 100% Republican support. It passed in 1865, though 3/4 of Democrats fought the freedom of slaves. But I digress. There are two Americas, a poor America embracing socialism and a wealthy America embracing capitalism. Socialist welfare created monstrous moral and spiritual problems, the kind of problems that are inevitable when individuals surrender their responsibility to others. Now, we heard such Democrat prattle from Jimmy Carter when he created the Departments of Education and Energy. We heard it in 1964 with the War on Poverty, when Democrat President Johnson said, "It does not merely expand or improve what is already being done. It charts a new course. It strikes at the causes, not just the consequences of poverty." $23 trillion later, black poverty is the same, but black families are not, with over triple the incidence of single-parent homes and out-of-wedlock births, because black women get penalized for having husbands. Today, under another Democrat president, the black community suffers economically. After 7+ years under Obama, the grim report is in, and blacks are worse off. When Obama took office in 2009, the black poverty rate was 25.8%. As of 2015, it's well over 27.4%. Incomes. CNN Money says between 2010 and 2013, minority income fell 9%, while white income fell 1%. Everybody's fell, by the way. Republicans need to get their message out and let the black community see that their policies are better. In school choice, Republicans want all families to have a say for their child. This would be a huge help in the education of black children. The Democrats would rather listen to the school unions and keep black children in black schools that don't educate them. Why? Because many would morph into being Republicans. Black unemployment is near triple that of whites, and this is under Obama. Democrats want to tax small businesses. Then they can't hire. Republicans want to give small business tax breaks. That would open millions of jobs, reducing unemployment. Come on, my fellow Americans. Let's get the truth out there and cut this nonsense. My wife Serena has joined me as we continue talking with actor, singer, songwriter Anthony Preston. I love this Elevate concept. There's more going on. Tell me more.
I didn't want to do a one-hit wonder. And what I mean by that is I had been part of the national speaking tours where it was just one talking head after the next. And if I was a teen watching, I'd be like ready to take a nap. It's a 90-minute show now that starts off with our band, which is called Circle Sight. It segues into the first spoken word artist, a very humorous scene about prom, into a series of different speakers, and ends with a awesome, very transparent question and answer portion. I wanted it to be interactive. I feel like teens get talked to and not talked with, and that's the problem I wanted to solve.
So do you feel like they are interacting? Are they eating it up? Oh, really?
Extremely, because and most of the time, the number one comment we get is, we've never seen anything like this before, which is both inspiring and sad to me at the same time.
Okay, and did I hear 90-minute events?
90 minutes. Anything that's entertaining it should go by fast. It shouldn't feel like an hour and a half. It should feel like this is an experience, and that's really what Elevate is.
You know, earlier you were mentioning, you guys were talking about negativity and how to combat negativity.
Right.
What do you teach the kids? I mean, you're doing this event, but how do you teach them how to combat that negativity that's really multiplied in social media? Everybody
wants to solve the problem of what's wrong with today's teen, right? Mm-hmm. I find that to be that problem gets solved if we focus on how to give them goals, give them identity and self-worth. I find that they are transparent on their own about making their own decisions. I watch them, we do the scenes in the show, and you can see in the audience the light bulbs go off when they say, I am that person in that circumstance, in that situation, and I know the choice I need to make now. They're not stupid. The only thing they need is inspiration. And they need inspiration from people that care about them, want to take the time out of their day to do it, people that are cool and young and hip and doing interesting things in their lives. And that's what really inspires them. We combat the negativity, I think, with saying, look, you're 18 years old, you've made some mistakes, but this is a fragment of your life. You can define your destiny today. Your past doesn't define your future. You show me your friends, I'll show you your future. There's any number of different things we use. We use the $20 bill analogy. I can jump up and down in it, fold it in half, tear it up, ball it up. It's still worth $20. And that's your destiny and future. No matter what you've been through, you can make a decision to still be and take advantage of all that you're called to be and do.
Well, with all the bad influences, it sounds like you're really turning kids to right the ship and go in the right direction. Hey, I hear about your single, your new single.
Collide.
Collide.
Collide is like anything else we've sort of gumped our way into.
Your dad? Really?
Boy, Dad, like peas and carrots, Jenny, we did. It was one of those,
your line,
let's have a collide.
Let's have a collide here. It was one of those things where the show needed something. It needed each year we try to do something different, and I don't know why this falls on me all the time, but it needed a theme song for the next season. And I wrote something, and just through some serendipitous channels, it was one of those things where it got picked up by a brokerage company that's now selling it to TV and film. But it was originally designed just for the show. And what I try to get all the artists to do is not only contribute their time, but contribute their gifts. So for me, it was my music. For other artists, it's their social media platforms. It's their following on different on the shows that they're on. It's always trying to create content to give to the teens. Because I never wanted to say, hey, the world's bad. I wanted to say, look, there's alternative programming out there. Look at our artists. They're equally as gifted, equally as talented. Buy their stuff. So the thing with Collide is all the proceeds actually go back into
So
the
when
program.
someone downloads, I've never downloaded a song, confession. When someone downloads Collide,
those proceeds go
to
back into the program.
into Elevate.
With Elevate,
Okay.
It's semi-unique, and it's because our volunteer base is so great. All of our operating expenses and budgetary line items are actually, the majority of them all go straight into programming. There's very little for administrative cost or overhead. It all goes to the speakers so that they can go out to do their job. It goes to the schools that can't afford, if they can't raise enough money. It goes to the kids.
Okay, this is good. Okay, now,
Yeah.
Hey, Wild Hair, I find $100,000. I'm thinking, wow, I want to give this to Elevate. How do lick a stamp? How do we do what?
There's several different outlets for that. There's the donate
And
button on the
we'll
website.
post this.
Donate button on the website, elev8-x.org, elevatex.org. There's a donate button there. You can give through a checking account. You can give through PayPal. You can send an email to our executive director, Ruth, R-U-T-H, at elev8-x.org, Ruth at elevatex.org.
Good, and that's
Help
great.
those kids.
Hey, it has been so great to have Anthony Preston on today. You know, it's people like Anthony that really change lives for the better. If you want to help Anthony, go and download his song, Collide. Every dime goes to his charity, Elevate. Also, if you want to know more about Anthony, go to his website, anthonypreston.com. We'll be right back with an exciting edition of Global Connection.
Great, Jake. Take this. Oh, spirit fingers.
share,
Please pass it. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish.
I'm Melissa Nunnally, and this is Global Connection, where we solve the world's problems in 3 minutes or less. No pressure, right? Well, today's issue, national languages. About 55 countries have decided that English is their national language. However, the United States is not one of those countries. The U.S. does not actually have an official national language. Serena, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think that English should be our country's national language, or does it even matter?
Well, I heard that in Ireland that English, or not English, but Irish is the official language according to their constitution. However, most of the people there actually speak English versus Irish. Only 30% speak Irish.
That's crazy.
I know. So it didn't help them to be able to speak Irish, right? But I mean, for me, the English language really sparkles.
It definitely does.
It does, it does.
So you don't think it needs to be in writing?
No, not exactly.
Well, common sense would dictate that English is our national language, even though it's not official. Typically, a country's official language is how they conduct business, how they run operations, how they do government. And clearly, that's how we use English in this country, even though there's other languages as well.
Yes, you know, it's interesting in Europe how many languages that people speak there. A typical student has to learn like 3 languages before they're even a teenager. Yeah. I would love to know other languages.
Well, I would too, and I feel like I got a late start, you know, starting with Spanish 4 years in high school and then a year of French in college. But I have found that even just what I've learned has helped me in our travels. So yeah, it would be wonderful to be able to speak a whole bunch more languages.
Here's an interesting thought. According to a report from the CIA, there are 140 languages in the world that are only spoken by 10 people or less. Can you imagine? 10 people speaking the same language, and that's it.
Wow, that would be a pretty tight-knit group.
Yeah.
It definitely would. And think about Papua New Guinea. That country, they speak over 800 separate languages.
Wow.
And Papua New Guinea is about the size of Texas. And within Texas are 250 counties. So imagine if there were 3 languages spoken in each county.
That would be so divisive. It would go from being the Lone Star State to the 800-star state.
Absolutely.
It's so silly. I know.
It definitely would be crazy. I definitely want to know other languages, but I don't want to speak so many different languages than my neighbors. That would just be way
How
divisive.
could you get
like
anything
you're saying.
done?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we want to know your thoughts. How many languages do you speak? Tell us what you think about language. Send an email to feedback@thehighroadshow.com.
Wow, English does unite us. Yeah, we should give it some credit by making it our official language. You know, we have reached the end of another great episode of The High Road. Wasn't Anthony Preston inspiring?
Yes, he really sparkled.
All right, all right. Everybody's been talking about my fist bump with Anthony. I don't know how to do it.
It was a crack up. But honey, you recovered nicely with a great cut the nonsense about how our government is taking our country in the wrong direction.
Yeah, we the people, we have the power to change things, and we need to now before it gets worse.
Well, we need to say goodbye for now, and we'd love for you to go to our website, thehighroadshow.com. See you all next time.
Bye-bye.